What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Last time we began Case 5, Rise from the Ashes, and we did the first investigative section, and now we're going to continue on to the trial. February 23rd, 9:34 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Actually, let me adjust this really quickly. Yeah, now continue. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Although, the testimonies will always reveal everything. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis! Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. What the fuck you, man? Mia told me to believe, so I'm gonna believe, damn it. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Mrs. Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there is one decisive difference between you and her. And that is, you're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. We're gonna need it. My first trial without a Faye helping me. No one's going to bail me out this time. Hey, it's big titties. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. I'm in your side. I'm on your side, Phoenix. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. Yay. Honestly, it'd be nice if we could solve like a case if it was just Phoenix by himself. You know, veteran Phoenix with all his skills and his logic and all his knowledge and evidence. February 23rd, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 9. Fucking hell. A lot of courtrooms. Court is now in session for the trial of Mrs. Lana Sky. Hey, oh my, it's been so long since I've seen this bastard. How you doing, Judge? The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Oh, drop the attitude, dude. Edgeworth. What's everyone's obsession with just saying each other's names? Haven't been in court since Edgeworth's trial. It's been a while now. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. What does that mean? I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Oh god. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Mrs. Angel Star, to the stand. The cuff-up queen. Hey, it's her. Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh ho, caviar. I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. Oh, and for you, I have a fiesta bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? Ah, and you, sir. Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled something. What the heck does pickled something taste like? Name, profession, now! Me, the name is Angel Star, don't go forgetting it. But like Edgeworth said it himself. I find myself running lunch late these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Hurry it up! Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. Huh? What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Mrs. Angel Star was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. Mrs. Star was a detective? Ah! Was it really that surprising? I know who you are. Cough up? Cough up Queen Angel Star, Your Honor. Long time no see. Let's get on with the testimony. Very well, you may continue with the description, Mrs. Starr. Just who is this lady? I might have the court's attention over here. Oh, come on. I was just about to say, witness testimony, blah blah blah. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into two blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the two blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor's spaces, yes. The crime took place by a car in the back of Block A and the car shrunk. The killer stabbed the victim with a knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honor. Floor plans added to the court record. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor. It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright? I can agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? If you can, then give them your worst, Mrs. Starr. Wait, are they talking about me? Joke's on them, we're the best ace attorney ever. Witness testimony, witness's account. Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my family home detective's instincts working. Damn, she looking wild. Then, through a wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garage car? Whatever. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. There she thrust the pointed tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Yes, verily so. Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman. So how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Cross-examination, witness's account. Alright, let's hope Wright has not lost his touch. Answer on that. How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. That was just bad. Mr. Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator, and if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? Just fired? To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless. Very well, you may continue, Mrs. Starr. Insider runs by Phoenix. That's my boyfriend. This boyfriend, he's the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard. That boyfriend? You have several? Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for appliance. I'll stick with the lunch, thanks. Note to self, the judge had to think before applying. Maybe he has his wife. The security guard room is in the lot in A block. It's in a block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. As anyone would suspect. Incidentally, did you bring your lunch boxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So she was in B block when she witnessed the crime? Probably. It's something. Perhaps it was my family and we don't care about your instincts. Nothing where fence I saw the crime. Can you see it through there though? By garish car, you mean Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes. Doesn't she mean like grayish? Mr. Edgeworth? Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edwards, wasn't it? Indeed it was. What are you trying to say? What an odd case this is. And the person you are sure it was the defendant? I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I'm certain it was her. She's telling the truth, we're doomed. She's obviously lying, so... Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always complain. Witness, in your testimony you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. And I am stealing Edwards' phrases. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Huh? Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter. Crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. That was inspiring. I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism? That wouldn't really do much for us. I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed. Oh shit. A photograph? You took this? The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snapped. I took a picture. With Snapchat, then I soon shot at it. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. Isn't that illegal? I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. This is my first time seeing this photograph. You'd think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor. Think again. Well, at least she tries to, you know, make sure that prosecutors don't do their quote-unquote dirty work. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Photography division. Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Maybe she has a twin sister. Crime photo added to the court record. Oh, that isn't unmistakably Lana Sky. So what was the defendant doing at the time? The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. It doesn't show it anywhere on the photo though. And you witnessed this. You saw Mrs. Sky stab the victim with a knife. As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch. I'm sure that is a fine lunch. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took of the very moment of the crime, is it not? And why is Mrs. Sky not holding a knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. I get to do it? Let's be a little more careful with our evidence, shall we? It is you that needs to be more careful, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing, you retards. How can you tell that? Blood splatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stain on chief prosecutor's coat? It's a black and white photograph. Ah, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem, except you. Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse? You got a better idea? Hell no, we won't. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture at the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. Well, this is awkward. That's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. The prosecutor's Sky was cold calculating, like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Ah! This is not looking good for us, guys. Those gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder, a serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. The murder was planned. Rubber gloves prove it. They prove it. But this knife debunks that theory. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to trust me? I sell box lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor. The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Mommy, our prosecutor is Bobby. What the fuck am I doing? The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, Wargame? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Sky planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon? Ah! This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Ah, she dropped her lunches. No, so much food. Order, order, order. Great, now the tide is turning in our favor. Great show, Miss Wright. My sister is as good as free. Oh my god, Edgeworth has something else up his sleeve. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah! The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. Oh. The defendant Lana Sky murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution needs to prove. Nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If she wasn't, why would she have been wearing gloves? I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now? Hopefully we don't have any more of this. My throat is hurting as hell. Like hell. Oh my god, I'm even correcting my regular speech. What the fuck? Witness testimony, angel's deduction. Lana Sky intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge knife in again and again and again. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So, if I order pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. Cross-examination, angel's deduction. She's obviously wrong. I'm sure yes him again and again and again. However, there was only one knife wound. So you say she stabbed him again and again and again. Couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. Oh god, that's disgusting. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Mrs. Star. What the fuck? That's a new sprite. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report says that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha! You're right! Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk, he's my hero, really! What about my objection? No one noticed. Phoenix, there are more important things to notice. Well, witness? You got the crime scene set, right? Oh, thanks. I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. She was wearing clothes. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. Tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify! Testify, woman! Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. She wasn't wearing a red muffler, you liar. Mrs. Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself. With this photograph. Huh? My dad. That can't be! Only a true professional could be so clueless. But she'll make a good lunch lady, have no fear. Harsh words, but good. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection? Chopped liver? But it was there, a scarf. No, not that. But something red. Really? Well, now where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude. Now back to business. What? Very well, witness, continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Oh shit, she mad now. Very well, I do remember some things accurately at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. Could Emma read our thoughts like Maya? Witness testimony apprehending the suspect. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. You're quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. I fucking hate snakes. That's me, Angel Star. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother with the details unless you want to get bitten. No thanks! Note to self. Attorney Wright gets bitten by snake. Please don't. I could never play that case ever. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr! Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. I was about to say Mrs. Wright. That wouldn't be right, would it now? Cross-examination, apprehending the suspect. The suspect attempted to run behind a partition to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. You saw it quickly. You were close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details. Obviously press her. I like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe. The Lunchland car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. She witnessed the murder from here? That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes? Is that correct, Mrs. Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Amazing, the cough-up queen, lunch lady, athlete indeed. Would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she could have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. How come Mrs. Sky didn't get away? Well, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. Why would she though? She mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Excuse me? Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word? So what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else? Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? You mean this cell phone? Let's ask further. By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory. It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't see, Mrs. Starr. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Why am I talking like this? Apparently it was out of order, and so she used her cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying? You should of course add this to your testimony. The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. Will you suck my dick to please me? She gave up trying to use the phone on the wall and just used her cell phone. It says on that. You think you could restate your testimony for the court? Aha! I was going to ask the same thing. Only say this one more time, so listen close, rookies. The prosecutor stopped the victim and ran behind the partition. She then picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled out her own cell phone out of her pocket. And during that time, you climb over the chain link fence. Damn. Then when Baldy grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this? What is it, Mr. Wright? Oh, there's the big contradiction. So Mrs. Sky tried to run. I'm sorry, my sister's so suspicious, Mr. Wright. Not as sorry as I am. But she didn't do it. You have to believe me. After murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. No, couldn't caught her. She got Chinese phone. Oh, but how could you have seen that? Have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Mrs. Lana Sky. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is marred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Mrs. Starr, this is the fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Mrs. Sky making that phone call. Got you, bitch. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the backside of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. Aww. God, stop lying. Order, what is the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies. Oh my God, what are you gonna say, Edward? It's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me the question. Tell us what lie this witness told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about where she saw the crime. She tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. It would be pointless for her to lie about it. Pointless to lie, I see. The witness did actually see Mrs. Sky using the emergency phone. In other words, Mrs. Starr witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location? Now that's a pointless lie if I've ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it. Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? All the testimony until now points in one direction. The place from where Mrs. Starr witnessed the crime was here. Security room, obviously, come on. This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room? Indeed, there was the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second level so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from here. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime at the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Mrs. Starr? How many years have I get the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has got the better of Angel Starr. Yeah. Does that mean you have to suck our dick? Can we be the yet another boyfriend? Order, witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished, and I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. The guilty. Is she talking about Mrs. Sky? Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Mrs. Star lie? Doesn't make sense. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from a security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. The truth still stands. It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She worries that without a good reason. So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Huh? Me? Who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Mrs. Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a valid difference. But what? What would change? The distance to the crime? It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. My condolences, Mr. Wright. But one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. Don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Mrs. Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now how long did it take you to get from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Mrs. Sky? Well, witness? You know. Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? Quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. Well, is he 5 years old? Boysenberry for the boyfriend. He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. Yeah, so... Before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. Now she went all the way around. Yup. Just move faster. Gotta go fast. Haven't you played a damn Sonic game? That's why I had to go through the visitors' parking in B block. That's quite a detour. Probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime. 5 minutes? Well, that's a lot of time. This changes things considerably. But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork. You have a point. And the spork is a wonderful invention. Would you like another caviar lunch? Absolutely. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Do you have any evidence to stop this? Hell yeah, we do. 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could make pasta in that amount of time. If you like it, if you like it al dente. I've got lunch boxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie. A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange. If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey! Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone. But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run. But this time was different. Mrs. Sky dwelled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. No. Wow. Literally quiet as most calm breakdown ever. Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. She has a grudge against the defendant and there is a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, is the next witness ready to go? Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on her account of professional history. We did it. We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright. That was too close. Talk about it, man. I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned. Hey, we're the cough-up king, boys. Hold it. Oh god, what do you have to say? Come on, my voice is dying. Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? That's the one she tried to foist off on me. I prefer to not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence. Is that? Is this another one of her trick lunch boxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Mrs. Starr. Ah, is this your jumbo lunchbox? Woohoo! A triple decker. Out of def out of something to the witness's determination, I will allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence. Like the lunchline motto says, you won't be disappointed. What's she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time? Lunchbox this time. Witness testimony, decisive evidence. I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other was the defendant, Mrs. Lana Sky's blood. This shoe proves it. It's flawless decisive evidence. What? There was blood found on that shoe? Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs. I guess Phoenix should try some of it. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence? Simple, I've already said. I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. And you had blood tests performed? Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics. In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence. What? You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edward sure is celebrating. Not so fast, Mr. Edward. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen. You can at least study some evidence law, really. How did we pass the bar exam? The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. Well, it sure seems you have yet another count against you, witness. Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged. Victim's shoe added to the court record. Well, let's just have that added to the court record, and... Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. We will expose her lies for what they are. Cross-examination, decisive evidence. We're gonna see how decisive that piece of evidence really is, Mrs. Starr. Come on, it can't be that decisive. I can't let this evidence go through without a fight. What the fuck is that thing? It's disgusting. You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? No, I did not. Some like it hard, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. She's not enough water to make a whole batch of soup. Lana likes that sort of stuff. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe? A problem? This is critical. What's wrong with the victim's shoe? There is a problem. If I'm not imagining things, which I usually do, I'd say there is one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction. Not gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I'll give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you? Oh, I'll show you what kind of heat I can take, Mrs. Starr. Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. About the victim's shoe. Shows the problem with this evidence. The evidence is in here. I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of the shoe. Don't mess with me, rookie, or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. Indeed there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe. It makes sense, the victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe? It's the crime photo. The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then isn't it strange? Why weren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Well, It seems like it's saying, why were there any goddamn footprints? But in a very British way. Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. If there were bloody footprints that would have been found. We checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Yeah, we're pulling this back, guys. We're doing it. Order, order. Well, witness? What? Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint. Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint. Think, Mr. Wright, think. Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions. What? Hold it. Oh, you did it. I'm pretty sure they have like voice clips for Edgeworth. Or is that like not until the third game? I see, now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There's one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. Third woman. Roar. That makes me feel very uncomfortable. I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that, I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory. Witness, well, was the oil drum empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. And cue the weird fuck music. Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright? How the fuck can you not get it? How dumb are you? You wanna know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason? Ah! You don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. Ah! Oh my god. Just when I thought we were really pulling it back. That ties things up nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoe tie her quite cleanly to this murder. Then, after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs. Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence. That reminds me, Mrs. Sky's right hand was hurt. Did she say she cut herself when she stabbed him? Yeah, I remember. So my sister's blood on the shoe, that's when it happened? Well, I see no reason to further prolong this trial. Mr. Wright, do something, please! What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But... Enough! There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well. But Angel Star is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water. This court finds the defendant, Mrs. Lana Sky. Oh my god, we're fucked. Is someone gonna yell? Is someone? Who is it? Oh, sir. Hold it! Little girl, what did you just say? Huh, me? Also, it took her a long-ass time to wait. Long-ass time to answer. Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well... I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are, demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence. Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else. You've reached your verdict, Your Honor. Any further comments will be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare the cough up, Queen. Look at this! Oh shit, another photo. A photograph. I had those just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. I see no room for error in this evidence. Mr. Wright, wait, look at the asphalt in this room. Hey, it's clearly wet. Uh-oh. erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. We're just gonna let it slide. Come on. I'm sorry, Mia. Right. Right. Whether or not. Don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Oh my god. Can't we do one thing by ourselves? Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end. Fuck's sake, man. Phoenix cannot even wash his goddamn ass without Mia's help. This is the last piece of evidence. Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good. Phoenix. Yes! Alright. Your Honor, wait. What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't. Then it will be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, Wright, are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem in this photograph. Wait. There's something in the muffler. The problem in this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler. Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph. Muffler is also a part of on a car or a motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system, a pipe. I see, and I see. Yes. What's that suspicious looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler? So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh, it does have something to do. It does have... whatever. Sorry, Mrs. Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. What? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to the case. Because of the conversation they had. Mrs. Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Oh yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Ah yeah, that was the part. Muffler. Ah! Yeah! Okay, those were some weird sounds. Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Again, another very weird scream. Or noise, moan, whatever you want to call it. Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings. Like usual with the bullshit we pull. So suspended? I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered, here we do a disservice to the law. Have that car at the crime scene inspected at once, and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Whew, that was close. But we made it. Hey! Boys, we made it. I can't say the N-word. I'm white. I cannot, okay? What do you expect me to do? At least for now. The court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all. He's still hungry? To be continued. Oh my god. Well, this is gonna be it for this episode, guys. I will see all of your beautiful faces next time. Bye!